Hi, are you sick and tired of paying hundreds of dollars a month for cable or dish? GNR TV is your answer. These guys have an incredible 100% legal product that is a cord cutter's dream. For as low as $25 a month, you will get over 400 HD channels, including all major sports packages, pay per views, premium movies, and entertainment. To get started, all you need is a streaming device, such as an Amazon Fire Stick, internet, and a desire to save a ton of cash. No contracts, no credit checks, no hidden fees. I myself have been a subscriber, and I must say this service is amazing. To learn more, search GNR TV on Facebook or Instagram, and I will also be posting a link on my pages to check out on my podcast website. Lastly, for first-time subscribers, use promo code SIR30 to save $5 for your first month. GNR TV, streaming done right.
Let's get slicing and dicing with Sir Sturdy horror fans. On this podcast, you will hear me and a guest do some movie reviews, random funny horror chats, and whatever else comes to mind. So tune in, kick back, relax, and always remember, I'll see you in your nightmares.
Well, just Jason's mask.
Welcome to another exciting episode of Horror with Sir Sturdy. I got my guys, Greg and John, with me from the Nightmare Shop. Guys, how's it going?
It's good. How are you, man?
I'm good. I'm real good.
Sorry, I was lighting up our blunt.
No problem with that. Hey, you know, it's good for you.
Just saying. This is going to be that kind of podcast, guys. So if you're not into it, you will be.
There you will be. Just enjoy.
You will be. Star Wars reference. No big deal. On to the war.
So, before we even get started, you guys will just tell me about your show you guys had last weekend. How'd that go for you?
Dude, we were up in the Quad Cities for Midwest Monster Fest. It was this dude, Jeff O'Neill, that put the whole fucking thing on. We celebrated the 45th anniversary of the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre with 3 of the remaining cast members, John Dugan, Ed Neal, and Terry McMinn. And it was the shit. There was so much horror all around for 2 days. Can't wait till next year. It was awesome.
Dude, it was really our first con. In that sense, we've done a lot of like late night grindhouses and Toy Man shows and stuff like that. But this is the first like straight horror con that we've done. And I think the coolest part is how every vendor was fucking genuine to each other. Like, no one was trying to undermine anybody. Everyone was having a good time. Everyone was trying to help each other out. It was just a really cool fucking atmosphere that I'll give all the credit to Jeff O'Neill and how he set it up. And
all the vendors.
Yeah,
so cool.
It was cool to meet a couple of our heroes and, with Texas Chainsaw Massacre, but at the same time, it was just cool to be there and kind of like, kind of breathe everything in and like for everyone to be, as nice as they were and as open as they were. I mean, a lot of people, could tell it was probably me and John's, first con, and we're like helping out and telling us where to go and when we should be there in the mornings. And I don't know, it was just it was awesome experience, and we'll be there next year for sure. And I know they're doing another Midwest Monster Fest next year, so.
That's
and
awesome.
the Quad Cities were cool. Like, shout out to Moline, Illinois, where we stayed. That was a cool little town.
Yeah, that's cool though. I'm glad that went good for you guys. Real good for you guys.
Yeah.
And I know you guys had a blast.
And shout out to a local here in St. Louis, Wyatt Weed, who was the Predator in Predator 2, which was our first podcast with you, Sturdy. And also to Marcus Cope.
Yeah,
who does the American Guinea Pig films, who signed a bunch of stuff for us that's available at the shop.
Does a lot of FX, for movies like Sacrifice and Bloodshot, The Song of Solomon, Bouquet of Blood and Gore. So does a lot of really cool, simple effects, but super over the top, super gory, right up our alley.
He
so.
did some special effects for the FX contest they had at Midwest Monster Fest, which everyone who was in that killed it too. And they were so simple but realistic. Like,
Yeah.
he did a bullet wound on this dude's forehead.
Oh.
And I mean, it looked like the dude got shot in the face.
It was cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
It was really fun. And shout out to all the fucking cosplayers. I've never seen that many cosplayers in one place.
There was my favorite cosplayer at this thing was this guy. I say that. I think it was a boy, but you really couldn't tell because the cosplay was so well done.
Mhm.
But it was a child, let's say about 8 or 9 years old. Let's say 8 to 10 years old, dressed up, I mean, to the nine, like Billy from Saw, and rode around on this tricycle. It was the it was the shit. Like, just didn't say a word the whole time, was legit, like, into the role for someone to be, like, that young and, like,
Didn't even smile.
yeah, buy into it.
That's perfect.
We got a picture of him, and we ended up posting it on some social media. But
Yeah. If you go to our Instagram, there's a whole like story of our weekend at Midwest Monster Fest. If you want to see some of those cool cosplayers like Billy.
That's
But yeah,
awesome.
this Billy was legit, and like the fact that they found this like cool like kind of tricycle for it to ride was just amazing. So it was cool to see that, like, right when he or Billy, I should say, turned the corner. Me and John look at each other like, let's play a game. And
That's so cool. I that's one thing I do love about these going to cons in general is the cosplayers. I'm just like, wow.
That's amazing. Are you into the cosplay stuff? Do you dress up, or do you and your wife dress up at all, or is that just a Halloween thing?
No, we really don't ever much. I think the only time we really did was my brother's Halloween party a few years ago. It was like
I don't really dress up much either. I enjoy it when I do, but I like seeing other people dressed up because, like, my creativity, I'm gonna like naturally sport the stuff we're selling.
Yeah.
You know, and wear stuff like that, and that doesn't limit me. But I'd rather do that now in the sense of, like, I want people to really like it, and then give us a like or give us a share.
I'm gonna I'm still thinking about it, but I think I'm going to do it. I just have to buy a pair of red sweatpants and a red hoodie. But go as Reckless Reggie, Part 5, Friday the 13th. Reggie the Reckless.
Dude, perfect.
that's genius.
I just literally need the hoodie and the pants, and that's it.
That'd be so awesome.
I think the toughest part is nowadays everybody wears these skinny ass pants, and I'm not doing that.
Yeah, me neither, dude.
But the hoodie will be easy. The hoodie will be real easy to find. It's gonna be the pants that may be the issue, but that's what I'm planning on doing for ScareCon.
Man, I got I'm gonna start wearing these. My wife, Mackenzie, has now gotten me 2 horror hockey jerseys from this thing called Geek Jerseys, I think.
Yeah.
And one's a Freddy Krueger that I got for my birthday.
Okay.
And then one is an alien, a xenomorph from Alien. And that's the kind of, like, dressing up I'd like to do in that sense.
Oh,
I know we're
yeah.
getting way off of, your intro and our start, but
Oh no,
you know,
we're good. We're good.
cosplay, man, it's a trip. It's so much bigger than
It
what
really
it used to be.
Well, and with this being our first con, it's kind of our first, like, it's really the first time we've gotten to see people that are, like, passionate and have the artistic ability. So not only are they, like, way into horror, but then they want to show that through this art that they can do. It's something that I could honestly, even if I was crazy into cosplay, I could never do it because I don't have the ability to, like,
Exactly.
make my own clothes or makeup. It's crazy the thing these people are, like, willing to do to themselves just because it's like, hell yeah, I love this character. This is what I'm going to be. I'm going to be with my people dressed up as Sam from Trick or Treat. Like, that's fucking cool. Like, good for you.
And I'll even go as far as to say as, like, the body painters. They had live body painters there.
Wow.
And this, I believe it was one woman, and she painted up like 3 or 4 people that weekend, like their whole bodies from head to toe.
See that?
And, like, that
Like
kind of
skeleton
cosplay is
bones.
crazy, like Finn Balor kind of looking stuff. You
I,
know?
res- I respect that art so much because, one, I cannot do it at all, even if I wanted to. And it's just, I'm amazed by people's talent, and I think it's awesome. I love it. I freaking love it. And it makes you kind of appreciate and love horror a little bit more. Just the fact that you see people going above and beyond for something, just for a movie that we all love. You know, we all love certain movies, and they look as good as the damn movie. Some of them, like, what the.
Yeah, I agree.
It's like when Kevin McAllister from Home Alone 2 walked in that fucking toy store and got the turtle doves.
Yeah.
2 turtle doves. You know, he was like, this is the best place ever. Those cons and, like, stuff we do that is, like, very horror infused, at least for us, like, here in the Loop, it's so much like that in the sense of, like, you're around, like Greg said, you're around your people and you're around, like, there's just a sense in the air, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
There's even like a little bit of scariness because like we've all seen the movies and these people are dressed up like them. It's like, oh, there's fucking Jason from Part 3. Dude's carrying on a real fucking axe. He could hack my head off.
Right.
Oh man, I love those cons so freaking much, man.
They're so fun. I can't
They really are.
wait to go to one together.
There was one guy there that ended up purchasing a bunch of items, from the Nightmare Shop. Was like crazy supportive of us, like all weekend was coming up and like, dude, I love what you guys do. This is great. We were super thankful for it. He was a super nice guy, way into Texas Chainsaw Massacre, so you got to talk to him a lot about that, which I love Toby Hooper and everything he does, but this guy ended up purchasing, we had like a blood-stained chainsaw prop and a Texas Chainsaw Massacre mask from the first one, the killing mask.
Yep.
And he ended up purchasing it, and then the next day showed up as Leatherface wearing our shit, and it was like, that's fucking awesome. That was really cool.
That's dope. I think a lot of people, and I'm saying this to the listeners, when you buy something from vendors like a mask or clothing or something, and it's an all weekend con, wear that the next day just to support it.
Yeah,
I try to do that all I can. Like last year, I bought shirts from a few vendors. And I know I wore at least one or two of them because I bought it the first day. I think I wore one the second day and one the third day. But I made sure I was like, yeah, hey, cool shirt. Where'd you? Oh, I got it from that vendor over there. Go check them out.
Fuck yeah, dude. And it means a lot. Like, it's the same as, like, you know what? Just, like, taking a card means a lot. I'm sure
Oh, yeah.
the same for the little guy and the big guy. Like, there were people there that were very, very well known, and there were people like us who were doing our first con, and it was so cool to feel comfortable and everyone be approachable and, like, supportive of one another, and I think that was a big deal for us to experience, not only as a business, but as, like, fans.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what are the fans like? What are the customers like at this place? Like, are we going to be getting ripped off? Are we going to be very supportive, like on the business end, but like on the customer and the fan end, it is so fun. Because we've done cons or shows where it's like, everyone fucking bogeys every once in a while. And we've done shows to where it's like, cool, we made overhead, but we didn't profit. And in this show, we didn't like make a killing, but it was our best show ever. And it was, for us, like, it meant so much, like I said, taking a card or, like, coming and taking pictures of your cosplay with our shit. I know I'm starting to ramble about it, but, like, my passion runs deep, man.
No, trust me, I get it. I get it 100%, like, with this podcast, man. I have so much fun with it, handing out business cards. It's cool when people randomly hit me up talking about, hey, I heard about your show. Will you guys review my movie? Of course. Hell yeah. Shit. Fuck
yeah. Dude, you talk to some cool people.
You know what it is? I'm not afraid to reach out to people. I'm not afraid of the word no. Like, if somebody's like, no, I'm not afraid or offended by it. No, okay, that's fine. Thank you for your time. I'm going to go off to the next person, and hey, I get a lot more yeses than nos, but I've had a couple of
no's.
no's.
That's good, though, man. That's definitely a way to go about it. It's cool. It's good that you can do that. Like, there's times I feel like I can do that, and then there's other times I'm like, why the fuck do I give a shit so much that this didn't work out? You know? It's good that you have that ability to be like, all right, fuck it, cool. On to the next one.
Yeah,
thanks for your time.
I look at it like, with some, they might be like, some of them just, hey, this guy, he doesn't have that big of a buzz yet. I'm cool with that. When I have a bigger buzz, if that's what the case is, they don't say that. I'm saying if that's what the case is, when I have a bigger buzz, come back and we'll see what happens. Let's do something later on then. I'm not like I don't get offended by it because you shouldn't, and you shouldn't get mad about. There's nothing to be mad about. There's nothing to be scared about. Just hey, because if you're afraid of the word no, you're not going to take a risk or take a chance, I should say. As far as for me, reaching out to somebody to come on the podcast, and I tell them like, hey, you can also, if it's for an interview, let's say, come on here, I'll interview you. You're promoting all your stuff, and it's all free promo. Nothing's better than free promo.
Yeah. Right.
So, it's fun. That's the main thing. Is it's fun. If I didn't have fun with this, I wouldn't be doing it.
Yeah, exactly. And that's exactly pretty much what I was trying to say in a nutshell. Is like every bit of it was fucking fun.
Yeah. I thought it was going to be, I always tend to get, before a really big show, man, I get anxious, dude, because it's like I can't, I want to see how this is going to go and see how things are going to be, for our business, and but at the same time, I just want to be there and I just want to be a part of it, So sometimes it's just like stepping out of the business side of it and being like, this is so fucking cool that I'm a part of this, and I'm like helping horror. This is what I want, and I might someday to like be making a living off of something you love. Shit, dude, that's
a
that's
dream
what it's all about.
Yeah, I agree. I 100% agree with that. But yeah, it's it's a crazy passion, but I love it. I wouldn't change it for the world.
Yeah.
Well, I think horror fans are just as big as like your Marvel Cinematic fans and DC fans at this point. Like,
it's just easier to talk about Iron Man at the water cooler than it is to talk about fucking basket case.
Yeah.
So
that's a great segue. But it's cool that like everybody at my job that knows me. I wear a horror shirt to work every single day, so they know I'm into horror. And they'll come up to some people come up to me like for It Chapter 2. Hey, did you see Chapter 2 yet? What'd you think of it? Da, 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 da. I'm like, yeah, I seen it. I thought it was great or whatever. And other horror movies and just, as a matter of fact, the other day, Friday the 13th, I was sitting at my computer and they gave me a new computer. It's like an all-in-one computer and it has a camera on it. And I happened to bring my Jason mask to work that day.
Hell yeah!
So I put the mask on and took a picture, and one of my higher ups caught me doing it. She's like, "Hey, what are you doing?" I was like, "I'm getting ready." I'm getting ready to work. Don't worry. She's like, "Okay, that's fine." But she asked me to look something up for. I forgot what. She wasn't mad. She didn't care. She just laughed. But again, it just felt necessary. So like, that's my new. When people message me at work or whatever, that's like my new face thing. Is my face wearing the Jason mask from Part 7.
That's awesome.
It just felt necessary. I had to be professional that day.
You had to. It's business, man.
Yeah, exactly.
It's life. Oh, you had the Part 7 one too. I love. There's something about Jason Lives, dude. It's so bad. It's like, I know that like everyone talks, about Hodder, and I get it and everything, but like there's something about Jason Lives. There's something about the way C.J. Graham holds it together.
He did good.
That Jason to me was the most badass / scariest. That's the one Jason. Like C.J. Graham, like I did not want to fuck with that Jason. He fucking sparked me up against some wall with that.
I feel like they all did a really good job playing Jason, though. I mean, I know Kane's my favorite, but nobody did a bad job playing Jason.
I agree, and that is not any slander at Kane.
Oh no, I know.
There's something about I just think C.J. Graham doesn't get enough cred because Jason Lives. At one point, he's fucking surfing on an RV that flipped on its side. Eat your heart out, Keanu.
That was an awesome part right there. I gotta admit that.
That'd be one of the coolest, like, blown up posters if you still framed that shot when they zoom out.
Yeah, dude.
Like, blow that up and put it on your wall. That'd be dope.
That would be. Hey, hell yeah.
He looks like the Statue of Liberty up there, man.
Maybe a little foreshadowing.
Yeah, on to Part 8.
There you go.
Takes Manhattan. Dude, that was like, Jason Takes Manhattan was one of the first fucking horror movies, one of the first movies I had ever seen in my life. I think it was like 3.5 or 4. And that scene where they're on the ship, they're on the ship a long time actually.
Mm-hmm.
So the scene where he hits the chick in the face with a guitar.
Yes.
You know, and like they don't really show it, but he swings. I remember being that young and turning around and being like, "Oh my god!" And like, you know, she was just gone, and that was like one of the first times I realized, like, oh, he's killing these people. Like,
Yep.
he's making these people go away, and that led to me watching the series as I, you know, was going into grade school.
That's beautiful.
It's one of my favorite movies.
Actually, one of the scenes that like always sticks with me in horror. Like every time someone says like, "Ah, man, this is what got me into horror," there are certain things that like I instantly think of. Texas Chainsaw Massacre actually is one of them. That's one of like the scariest movies to this day to me. And I remember watching that at a young age, and that's just scaring the fucking piss out of me. But
Still scares me.
you know, just it's pretty much a movie about what crazy white people can do when they have time on their hands. Okay.
Yep.
When they run the city.
That's
when they're not making chili, man. But there's that scene in Manhattan where like Jason's fucking face is like melting off because of all that, I guess, like toxic waste and shit.
Mhm.
Like that scene scared the shit out of me when I was a kid. I remember being like, oh my god, you know. Always, because like a couple scenes before that, you know, they show the back of his head and he like flips up his mask to scare those kids that are like, you know,
That was
and
cool.
you don't see his face. So I remember thinking like, oh my god, what does his face look like? And then all of a sudden, a couple scenes later, boom, they show his face melting off. You're just like, holy shit.
That whole scene was crazy. Like when throwing up in the sewer, Kane really made himself throw up for that scene. That's just.
Oh, that's cool. I did not know that.
That's cool as fuck.
But the weird part about that scene, though, that you were just explaining, is when like he melts and he's like a kid shivering in the sewer. That always throws me off. That right there, I felt like they didn't need to do that at all. They could have just had him down there in the
I
sewer.
agree. Like there was no need to like, you know, like what was the point? Like you could have just had him fucking melt away and boom, what a cool ending. We melted Jason.
Or something.
They showed him as a child again in Freddy vs. Jason.
Yeah.
When, you know, it like is raining, they're fighting in the boiler room. And
That kind of worked.
he
though.
sticks his fucking blade in his temple.
Yep.
That's one of my favorite like parts of that movie.
I think it kind of worked because, you know, Freddy, you know, he was in this dream.
Yeah.
So it totally works. For Manhattan, though, it is kind of like, I wonder why they decided to just, oh, and now we're going to give a vision of a kid.
Mhm.
You know, it's just like, well,
Yeah.
why is there, man?
Being from New York, Sturdy, did Manhattan mean a little more to you? Because if Jason came to St. Louis, I'd be bragging about it all the fucking time.
Well, as a kid, when I watched it, I didn't even really think about it like that. I was just like, another fucking awesome Jason movie. And
Yeah, it's a lot of movies are made in New York, right?
and I'm not from the city. I'm not from New York City though. I'm like 3 or 4 hours away from it, so it doesn't have the same effect that it would. That's somebody that lives in an actual
Yeah.
True.
right there.
But if like Jason took Potosi, Missouri, I'd still be pretty fucking scared.
I'll tell you what, if Jason took Schenectady, that I'd be there for.
Dude, I was telling you before we went on, I don't know how the fuck you write Schenectady. It was so hard.
It's easy.
Oh,
SCHENECTADY, like I said earlier.
yeah, that's really
Yeah, cool,
real
dude.
fucking easy. Whatever. dude.
RESPECT.
I think that's one of the towns that The Office was filmed in.
Oh man, I wish.
Oh man. But then Jason went to space, man, and like the whole. Well, I guess he didn't go directly to space, did he?
Jason goes to hell and then space.
Yeah, he went to hell first, and then he goes to space, X style.
Mhm.
And that one, I don't know why, but it's definitely in like my top 3 Friday the 13th.
Really?
Yeah,
Actually, my favorite mask is in Jason X.
the Uber Jason.
It's not the Uber. I don't mind that mask. That's like the Uber Jason always is like Shredder on fucking steroid or something. Super Shredder, man.
Shredder loses his mind.
And I'm reaping the benefits. But yeah, like my favorite fucking Friday the 13th mask is actually in the beginning of Jason X, when like David Cronenberg goes in to talk to him, and Kane kind of has that mask on. It's pretty much the mask he has before he turns, into like Super Jason. But that mask before is that's my favorite Friday the 13th mask.
Nice. Mine is 7.
7's great, dude.
That's my favorite look of Jason.
Is that New Blood? Is 7 New Blood?
Yeah. Yep.
Where he's got like the chain around his neck, right?
The chain around his neck, and that's with Tina, the girl with the telekinesis.
Yeah, you guys, that might be one of the craziest, like how he was brought back to life was the telekinesis chick, like getting pissed and running out there and like cursing at the lake, just like very convenient, Sir Sturdy. My favorite resurrection was Liv's, which is 6. So.
That was dope.
The Frankenstein, kind of rising, with the electricity and shit like that, like the whole reference and everything. I thought that was the coolest, resurrection, I guess.
Well, there's so many people there too when it happened.
Yeah, he kind of had a little, crowd right there.
Yeah, it was cool. It was very like, this is happening. Holy shit.
Tommy fucked it all up.
Hell yeah, he did. What a fucking man. Whatever. That was my favorite Tommy, though.
And what was crazy? What's funny is looking back at that movie, you don't think about it as a kid, obviously. But watching that movie as an adult, you're like, why the fuck was that grave so damn shallow?
Oh, dude, like, there's so many things, like, with any of those movies, in that sense, like, it's crazy. That's one of the first things I thought of, like, dude, I would have fucking... Why was he not buried 100 feet into the ground?
And cremated first.
And then had concrete poured up all the way, like, this is ridiculous.
Take him to space and throw him out the window, sacrifice one astronaut. It's not going to hurt. NASA has a lot of money.
Yeah, or just shoot him in
orbit.
Unless
the astronaut's Ellen Ripley, then that's a movie.
Oh, man.
Shoot him in space by himself. It's simple. So on the basket case.
Oh, yeah.
Right, basket
case.
Yes. First time watch for me. We don't even have to get real crazy with it, but first time watch for me. I did have some fun with it.
First time.
Yeah, now was that little thing in the basket? Was that like the guy's brother or something?
Yeah, that was his like
Belial.
Yeah,
Siamese.
It almost like I would almost call like Belial's more like a fucking tumor.
Yeah,
that happened. And was cut off this dude, and it happens to have, can make conscious decisions and fucking kill people and scream throughout the fucking movie.
Screams the whole time.
This thing screams the whole movie.
And it's claws. Holy shit! That's the main thing I remember every time I think of this movie is like the face scratching and like how sharp this little bastard's hands were, man.
The thing was incredibly strong. I mean, this dude could just break bones like there was nothing.
Yo, it picked the brother up by his fucking nuts.
Yeah.
Holding his hair. I'm like, what the? First of all, that guy wasn't in enough pain because if somebody picks you up by your balls like that, I would probably just pass out, or I'm dying right there. There's not gonna be.
Kill me.
Yeah.
Now, Lord.
I think that pain alone would just kill me. Probably pass out, cry, and just be dead.
Just be dead.
That'd be it.
What did you think of Dwayne in the movie? Main guy.
Dwayne, let me. I knew something. Well, obviously, I knew that the thing was in the basket, but I knew something just kind of seemed off with him throughout the whole movie. And I felt like he wanted to be good, like he wanted to have a good life, and couldn't really have a life because of his brother.
Well, the reason I asked is because he's in all fucking 3 of them, and only gets better, in my opinion.
I gotta watch the other 2.
He's so over the top, and he's so like, like just like so high pitched and so contradictory to how you'd think this character should be acting. and like he's so cool with just taking this thing around to kill people, pretty much. And in later, the sequels, it gets so crazier with him.
It's interesting too because like Dwayne's almost the worst of the two. You know, like he, in a sense that he has this crazy fucking secret and lures people back to his room, and like, there's many times he releases Belial to have a wrongdoing done in his favor. So it's like, it's not like, Dwayne's all innocent over there with a giant scar on his side. Like, fuck that. He's fucked up a little bit. He's very socially fucked up.
A lot like Julia from Hellraiser.
Yes. Kind of has
people in the kill.
Yeah.
For Frank.
Yeah, you're right about that. He's definitely out there, and I'm just like, man, you're fucking it up. You could have got some. You fucked that up because that thing jumped out the thing screaming and yelling.
Oh yeah, that thing tried to get down, man.
And then he threw. Oh, that was later. But the thing was, he threw the chick out the room. Like, just imagine, I'll be throwing that thing out the room. Like, look, I gotta take care of business. Get the fuck out of here.
Swinging like vines in the Amazon. I know it's dirty.
Or that wicker basket. It was just funny because it was just like a little wicker basket. I'm like, those things aren't really that strong.
Oh, I know that was like a huge hole, in the plot was like, you're telling me that this thing can fucking fling dudes around by their bean sack, but can't get out of a fucking wicker basket? Like, what are we talking here?
Yeah, with the lock on it. Come on, now you could bust through that basket easily. Like that. Now that I think about it, that's another funny thing because he just, when he had the lock on it, I'm like, okay, but you can still bust through. I've broken these type of things plenty of times, not on purpose. They're just, it happens.
You think Master Lock? It's 2019. Come on, you got a lock. I mean, I guess it wasn't 2019 back then, but 1982. What can you do?
Something better than that. Put it in a metal box.
Yeah. Put that thing in a fucking bag and tape it up and put it in a river.
Should have been killed.
That thing is fucking.
It should have been killed. I know that, I'm not saying I'm over here just being like, yeah, abort. All I'm saying is that thing in particular
should have been killed. I agree.
Should have been aborted.
It's a freak of nature.
No, I really like director Frank Henenlotter. I think that he's done a lot of cool stuff, and since I know he's also done like Frankenhooker and Brain Damage and other movies that.
Yeah, he wrote Basket Case too.
Really? All three of them, or just the first one?
I know he wrote the first one. I'm not sure if he wrote the second and third.
I'm pretty sure he directed this. I don't know. I thought he directed all of them, but
he wrote and directed the second one. And the third one was also him, but a guy named Robert Martin helped write the third one. Okay. Other than that, Frank Henenlotter is Basket Case.
Yeah, I definitely got to watch those other two because it was a fun movie, entertaining. I'll probably go back and rewatch the first one again, sober, so I can kind of pay attention to it a little bit more.
Yeah.
Dude, it is one of those movies though that you can kind of watch and laugh and like.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, it's just a lot of fun. It's never at any point are you like scared or terrified. You're more like, just staring in amazement.
It's a grindhouse flick.
I love a lot of the stop motion stuff too. Like when they're showing Belial like crawl on the floor and like I love that stop motion shit.
Yeah, I like that too. When he jumped off the table or whatever, jumped off the dresser, and then you see him moving around on the floor.
Yeah.
It moves so fucking weird, though. I was so damn confused. I was like, how's this bastard moving? But it moves.
I think that's part of the suspense or the I don't know of it. Like, why does Hannibal Lecter eat people? You don't really know. He's just fucking crazy, man. How does this thing walk around? I don't know. It just fucking does.
We taste good with Chianti, I guess.
Yeah. Liver and fiber beans.
And then that thing rapes that girl later in the movie.
Oh yeah, dude.
Yeah,
no, he fucking he literally eats her vagina.
Mm-hmm.
That's fucking crazy.
He did. And at first, I didn't realize it was the thing. I kind of had an idea because you've seen it like reach in and grab her titty with its hand. And I could have sworn the hand looked regular. And then you go back and see the guy in bed sleep. And I'm like, wait a minute, is he dreaming, having a real vivid dream? I was like, oh shit.
Yeah, it's almost like he could like convince the dude and the girl like that he looked like, it's almost like, he had this ability to like Jedi mind trick these people.
Yeah, because his eyes lit up.
Yeah, he
like red,
he almost had this like hypnotism ability, like where he could kind of like brainwash you for a little bit and make you think you were seeing or talking to somebody else.
It's dim light, man. You can't hook up in dim light for the first time. You need all the lights on.
That makes sense. It makes plenty of sense. You gotta know what you're doing.
Yeah, you're not gonna know where everything is.
And then after
you're
that,
gonna see stuff you don't like, and then we can assess the situation again.
But yeah, what did you guys think of the movie, though? I mean, what was your...
I've always liked this movie. I actually got this movie as a gift from Gutsy Greg over here for like my 17th or 18th, maybe 19th birthday, somewhere in that area. And I hadn't heard of it till then. And I remember watching it, and I think he got me all 3 of them, actually. And I remember watching it like within 2 days, watching all 3 of them, and being like, dude, that is like a very original, very underrated, very still holds up kind of deal. Because, like, in my opinion, that era of movies and, like, when you're doing it in big cities, like, that's what the city looked like when I grew up.
Yeah.
So, like, it's very relatable. And, like, the way it's shot, it's almost like, I'll compare it to, remember the first Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles live-action movie? And,
Watching
like, how
Critters.
New York City looked. Like, that's how New York City still looks to me.
Yeah.
And, like, this movie was very, like 8 years before that, and it looked like it did. And, like, they always say, like, if you're not from New York, it's always like, oh, New York's filthy, and there's rats, and there's people, and nothing but yellow cabs. So, like, that's what I think of. And, so for me, it was very comforting to watch all 3 of them, and it's, like, still a movie it's not, like, by any means above a B-rated movie, but it's one of my favorite B-rated trilogies.
Oh, it was good. It was fun, like I said. And quick question for both of you guys. Here's a quick trivia question since you mentioned Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Part 1.
Oh.
What movie was Raphael leaving in that? And the line he said was, "Where do they come up with this stuff?" And they showed the sign.
Oh, shit. I don't know.
Because while he was up there, they were watching like the famous turtle and hare race.
No, it was when he went for the walk on his own at night.
It was right before he fought Casey Jones.
Yeah, yes.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah. He had the trench coat on. Was it Critters?
Yes.
Yeah. Yes.
And like watching that movie as an adult, when I'm a little bit older, looking back, I'm like, holy shit, that is so cool. That's one thing I love about the 80s movies, how they'll throw other movies in there. Even if they're taking a little dig at it, they're still putting it out there. So now, I'm sure back in the day when that movie came out, people went to go watch Critters just because of that scene right there.
Oh yeah.
100% sure of that. But I was like, that's so fucking cool. And then, where do they come up with this stuff? And the movie was weird.
It is fucking weird.
Raphael's badass. I'm just putting that.
Is Raph your favorite?
As I've gotten older, yeah, he's definitely the most relatable. What the fuck's everyone doing? I'm out. I lost the sign.
Yep, but I can get it back. He ended up getting it back, though. He wasn't lying.
He did.
Who's your favorite, dude?
I don't really have one. I know as boring as that sounds, but it's just... I had Kevin Eastman draw Donatello in my book, though.
Oh, that's
cool as fuck.
Yeah. As a matter of fact, the story I was telling you earlier about me and my brother with the machetes touching the tips.
Yeah.
Same con, we met Kevin Eastman.
That's so cool, man.
And he was actually signing autographs for free, which was amazing. And I think you could donate, which I know we did. I forgot what all the proceeds were going to. Free autographs, so people were still donating. And I forgot what it was going to, but it's like all the proceeds were going towards that. So of course you got to support that. But that was awesome. That was a beautiful moment.
Oh, I bet. Donatello was always my favorite, dude. Like, especially in the old cartoon, I love that. Like Donatello was, always driving the bus or, the blimp, whatever. It was Donatello driving it, man.
Yeah. Oh man, I have that cartoon, the whole box set on
FHE cartoons.
The DVD. It's on DVD, and it's the truck that they drive around. That's what the big case is, and the DVD's like kind of
like the trash truck or whatever it looked like. Like they could shoot like pizzas.
Yeah. Yep, something like that.
That thing was cool.
But yeah, it was good to see that. It was good to get that. But I'm glad you guys got that Critters thing. That was clutch.
Yeah, I don't know. At first, I was just like, "Wait, what movie?" Because I thought you were talking about the one where he like goes up on the roof and they're watching like the tortoise in the hair. Come on, Ninja Turtle!
Yeah, Ninja kick a damn rabbit.
But yeah, because I remember even as a kid, I was just like, "Oh, I bet that movie's good." Mm-hmm. So,
what was your favorite scene in Basket Case besides the titties? I had to say that because that was definitely one of mine.
Oh shoot! You want to go?
Sure. I'd say the first time you kind of see Belial peek out of the basket.
Yeah.
You know. And it's very similar to like the cover of the movie, because that is the cover of the movie of him peeking out. I just like that whole kind of like, because they don't show them all at first, and you only catch glimpses and sounds up until that point, and then when he finally pops out and starts scratching people's faces like Freddy Krueger, I don't even really remember what happened in the scene, other than like I just remember seeing him when I watched the movie and being like, "Oh, fucking gross, Greg."
Man, I think my favorite scene is like them kind of falling out the window.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
He's holding on to like Belial's hand, and then Belial's hanging on that like sign that they kind of foreshadow throughout the whole movie. They show the front of that building with that sign, like throughout the movie. And then so he falls out the window. They're both falling out, and there's like it's just very a lot of symbolism with like how he's like they're kind of holding on to each other.
Mm-hmm.
To survive. They kind of live for each other. They kind of die for each other. So in that sense, it's an interesting relationship that they have. But at the same time, like, I mean, the two, even to death, were super loyal to each other. It's just one got pissed off because he wanted to. Well, here comes a girl, and she ruins everything. This dude falls in love over some,
Yeah.
He just didn't want him to be happy, man. He thought. If you really think about it, Belial was probably more like, dude, if this dude leaves me for this chick, or if this chick finds out about me, I'm awful. Like, I need to end it.
Yeah, it makes sense, hey. You see how upset Timon and Pumbaa were, and when, Nala and Simba first got back together?
Yeah, what was all that about?
Dude, they were cock-blocking, okay? Nala looked good.
But... It ended up working out for him. Like Belial should have just waited for, see what happened with his brother and the girl. It could have worked out for them too, but he ruined it.
By the way, if you're Timon and Pumbaa, you talk about falling in a pile of shit and coming out smelling like roses. These motherfuckers, okay, happened to stumble upon some fucking lion in an oasis that they live in, by the way, where they just eat delicious bugs and catch fireflies and talk to thunderclouds and shit like that. They befriend this king lion. This, he leaves, goes in and gets back what is his, and then they just get to live in Pride Rock because they befriend this one.
They're like jesters.
It's a bunch of bullshit, is what it is. And I'm sick of Timon and Pumbaa and the free rides.
I'm gonna throw Zazu in there too. Fuck that long beak motherfucker.
Just a pest. Just a pest. You're telling me, Zazu, that you couldn't squeeze between one of those two rib cages and escape and go get help for Pride Rock?
Right, dude.
You Blue Jay motherfucking cocksucker.
He should have got out of there, but...
Yeah, it's bullshit.
Dude, right. Singing like a chump.
He liked Scar. He loved Scar. Probably a little too much, so that's all I gotta say about it.
Oh, shit.
Sorry, we got way off track. What did you think of Basket Case, dude? Like, how did you feel about it?
I thought it was fun. I'm trying to think of my favorite scene. You both picked good scenes, so I'm trying to think of something different. I did enjoy the kills. Like I loved the blood in it.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. 80s blood's always good.
It was real fun. Like when he killed the I can't remember the doctor's name, but the one doctor that the main guy called him on the phone or whatever, and he had the what do you call those? You know, the old school card holders, the rotary ones.
Yeah.
Looking through those, that doctor right there. You see him just dead, laid out like that. And the funny thing was, the whole time I'm watching this movie, I'm watching it. If you guys, I'm sure you guys both noticed this. You don't hear any police sirens until the end of the fucking movie. I'm like, one, this is New York City in the 80s,
Right.
and then two, so many fucking people got killed, and nobody even, because people would, after somebody dies, somebody comes in the room and starts screaming, and that was it. I'm like, you're not gonna call the cops?
It's actually true. Like throughout the movie, all this shit goes down in this building. All the neighbors go out. They're nosy as fuck. They see everything. They see people screaming, yelling, running up and down the steps. People are dying. Where are the police? What is going on? Yeah, I don't know. Is this New York or is this Detroit? You know, make your mind up.
Exactly. I'm like,
I was expecting like RoboCop to show up all of a sudden and be like,
Dead or alive.
that would have been some shit. That would have been hilarious. But I'm just like, where the fuck are the police this whole time?
Yeah, is this like the Peachtree Apartments in Dread? Like, how come there is no law? What's going on?
Oh, dude. Those apartments were fucking terrible. They did not upkeep well.
No, they didn't.
Fucking Judge Dredd, man. Great movie.
I think people, like, it's one of those movies where you're expecting this movie to be so bad, but good. But then you watch the movie and you're like, no, this is a good fucking movie.
Yeah, it was. It was better than I thought it would be. And when I watched it, I'm just like, okay, yeah, this is fun. This is really, really fun. And now I got to watch the other two to see how fun those two were.
Oh, they're great, man. You can purchase them at the NightmareShopLLC.com.
Hell yeah, all three.
That's a smart plug. DVD or Blu-ray?
Blu-ray.
Boom. Hear that, people? Blu-ray.
Arrow. I think the first one's like an Arrow slipcover, and then the other two I think is that Blue Underground or
I think it's Synapse Films.
Synapse. That's right.
Nice.
They're really cool, but they're fun, man. All three of them have that same feel.
Yeah, that would be a cool freaking toy prop.
Oh, and the basket.
Yeah, the basket, and then the little guy. Even if it's just the basket about yay big, let's say this big.
Oh, that's perfect.
And then having the thing just holding the basket up, peeking out. Like it doesn't need to be. It doesn't need to be huge, but whoever can do that needs to get it done because I don't have that time.
I fully support that. We'll sell it at the shop if someone makes it.
Because that would be awesome. I think I've heard other people talking about that would be a cool toy or cool prop, whatever you want to call it. Cool figure.
That'd be cool. I think what Greg said, like, if you could get the action figures hanging from the sign, like, just give them a fucking, like, half building and a sign and the two action figures.
Yeah.
It has to be that sign, though. It can't be just a random sign, people.
Yeah, I can't say, like, consume on it.
It can say horror with Sir Sturdy, though.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
You know, I gotta say that a little bit. But, I know you guys would recommend this movie because you guys recommended it to me. I know you guys would watch this movie again. What's one thing you would change about this movie, if anything?
Dwayne's hair.
That's fair.
I think it goes short by the third one, but like in this one, like that fro, I wasn't digging it.
Dwayne looks like a nerdy Ray Liotta. That's how he looks in this movie.
It's the 80s, though.
I think, honestly, I would have... I think it would have been interesting to use the hypnosis a little more. You know, the fact that when his eyes would glow, he could, like, trick people and manipulate people.
Yeah.
It would have been cool if he could, like, manipulate people to, like, kill for him. So he didn't even have to leave the fucking basket. He could just sit there and glow his eyes, and all of a sudden, dude, these people were like... And then all of a sudden, you got, like, a slasher movie going on. Slash creature feature.
That would have been interesting. I would say, less screaming.
I will say that, like, I love this movie, but there are points where I get kind of anxious when I watch it because there's so much screaming going on. It makes you, like, uncomfortable almost. You're watching it and you're just sitting there like, oh, God, like, this is horrible. Like, this thing up there is just fucking screaming bloody murder.
The whole time. And it's got those crazy fucking eyes.
Yeah. See, the crazy eyes was cool. The main thing with the screaming for me was because I was watching it downstairs, and my wife sleeps, so I had to keep, like, looking over. I'm like, hopefully she doesn't wake her up. And then, so at certain points, I had the TV turned up because some of the dialogue was quiet, and then a motherfucker starts screaming out of nowhere. I look over, and she's still knocked out, but I turn it down a little bit more. I'm just like, come on, now enough with the damn screaming. And they didn't solve anything by screaming. Again, nobody called the police. Nobody called a paramedic. They just screamed. But, hey.
And, like, he walked around New York with that fucking locked basket a lot in the movie. Like,
he did.
No one, like, heard or saw, like, hey, this dude's carrying around a baby in a locked fucking basket. New Yorkers are just like, get the fuck out of my way.
Yeah, that's true about New York. You really don't pay attention to much. Not that you don't pay attention, you just don't really care, I guess.
So don't bring our kids to New York, is what you're saying. Watch out, Kern.
No, you can bring them. Bring them.
Okay. I don't have them, but Greg looks concerned.
I mean, it's not a huge deal if I happen to lose a couple. It's not a big deal.
Okay.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, New York sounds all right.
Don't worry, black people don't kidnap. That's you guys.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
That's actually, to be honest,
white people are responsible for most crimes. It's fucked up.
There's always some white guy behind it all. It's just fucked
Jason,
up.
Freddy, Michael Myers, all white.
Jason was a hero, though. He was just a misunderstood individual. Freddy, I can't explain what he did.
Yeah, he's gross.
That's R. Kelly.
Our Freddy. That's fucked up.
I mean, look,
I never thought he did.
Freddy Krueger, FK, R. Kelly, RK. Coincidence? Nope.
You have like a boiler room or a closet, you know?
Pretty much.
Oh, man.
I'm sure both can get pretty uncomfortable.
Yeah.
R. Kelly has a Beretta. Freddy has a glove.
R. Kelly also has that mask. Freddy has the hat.
True.
Oh, man. And they were both cast out by their towns. They got more in common than you think.
Yeah. I'm gonna have to.
They should burn R. Kelly alive.
No, we don't want that because he's gonna come back more powerful and peeing on people again.
He's gonna come back.
It probably wouldn't be on Elm Street. It'd probably be on, like, I don't know,
Preschool Avenue.
Some kind of grade school. Is there a big grade school over there?
Burn him in a middle school.
Oh, guys, don't ever go to that Truman Elementary. There's a guy that walks around and he looks at the girl. I swear to God, I think the other day he was pissing on one. Yeah, I hear he waits till they're asleep, so all these kids are drinking coffee.
Trying to stay awake.
They're trying to stay awake.
He wears a brown
but
hat.
right when their eyes close, drip, drip, drip.
Oh, man, I wish Henry was on this one, too. He would have been going along with this so much.
I'm sorry. Sorry, buddy.
That was hilarious. I'm not sorry for that at all. Oh, shit. And that's why this podcast is so fucking fun, because we do shit like that, which is just out of nowhere. Earlier, me and Henry were talking about applesauce. I don't know why. It has a delicious treat.
Applesauce, dude. Chunky or smooth?
Yeah. Are you a chunky guy or a smooth guy?
Either or.
Really?
Yeah. As long as it's sweet.
It all comes out the same way, huh?
Exactly.
Dude, chunky makes me chunky. You know what I'm saying? Like it's like I got chowder coming out that way.
See, I don't have those issues with applesauce. A bunch of other stuff, but not applesauce.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Never mind then.
There's some fried chicken downstairs.
Oh, man.
Holy shit. In a basket.
Smell good?
Yeah.
Good.
So, yeah. Someone
Hey,
needs to.
I was thinking like, because Basket Case, it's one of those fun movies, and I do kind of, we were talking about Critters earlier. I compare it to like a Critters almost based on size and kind of like how the movie's filmed and how it's fun. And this sounds weird, as gory as Basket Case is. If you remember, Critters was pretty fucking gory, and I remember like my parents thinking like, "Oh, it's Critters, it's for kids," like. So like, do you think like because there's all these kind of emergence of monsters with it, like the MonsterVerse with what's going on with like the new Godzilla movies, and you got the new Cloverfields, but the Pacific Rims. Do you think that at some point those mid-range to small monsters are going to come back? You think, like it, and if they do come back, which ones would you love to see again?
Ooh. I guess, to start off with that, Basket Case, I'd love to see that remade.
Oh, that'd be great. I think if someone nowadays did it, it would be fantastic. It's as long as they still use, simple effects.
Yeah.
No CGI, it'd be fantastic.
Use the practical effects, but I just think like to make the blood look good for its time. I think they can make that look a lot better and make like the cuts, the wounds, just because people know how to do more with makeup, the cuts and the wounds on people's faces and all that kind of better. But I would still want it. I don't know. Would you guys, say if they redid Basket Case, would you want it in these times or would you want it back in the 80s?
I think I'd still want it back in the 80s. I think that would make the most sense. I know that sounds weird, but like I feel like, it's kind of like what you said. Like in the 80s, no one really gave a fuck. Where if they were to do it now, I feel like people would have their phones whipping out and be like, try and like do a video, or like you said, call the cops or something like that. I think in the 80s, some of that stuff is easy to like overlook or forget.
Yep.
Because like people in the 80s didn't really give a shit. People in the 80s just wanted to do cocaine and have fun and all that stuff.
I would say that, and then like nowadays, how you're saying people would pull up their cell phones and maybe call the cops. I think the first thing to do is try to record what's going on or that thing.
Yeah.
It'd be like a live feed on the gram.
Yeah, it would be, which is crazy.
I think 80s is definitely a way to go, and I think that your director would be Adam Green. I think Adam Green could totally, the guy that does the Hatchet movies, could totally pull off a Basket Case type movie, kind of keep the humor in it and keep the simple effects.
I agree. That would be really fun. So yeah, somebody bring back Basket Case now.
Yeah.
I would say Chud.
Oh, Chud!
I think if they remade Chud, or even did a third Chud, well, I don't care if you continue it or not, but just bring back the original Chud monsters, and instead of like having them pretty much possess Bud, and redo that. And I think someone like Andy Muschietti should do it.
Oh, that'd be great.
Because he's really good with like he's good at creating monsters.
Yeah.
Well, and Chud's perfect too, because that's another movie that kind of takes place in New York, and has and it has these crazy like underground dwells where like all these homeless, almost communities where all these homeless people live in the sewers and stuff like that. Which, like that's just, I don't know, that'd be interesting if someone did it. Cool.
And I would want John Goodman to be in it.
John Goodman and or Daniel Stern would be the shit.
Yeah, like have them, maybe not be in it, but maybe be at like the round table when they're deciding what to do or not.
Oh yeah, for sure. I think for me, I love Gremlins. Like I think I loved those as a kid.
Yeah.
I still love it to this day, and I would love to see like a Jeff Doherty.
Aren't they making a new Gremlins?
That's the rumor. The rumor is Jeff Doherty wants to almost just do a sequel, a continuation, like Gremlins 3. And but I haven't seen much else other than just hearsay.
Oh.
But I think that would be a perfect pick, especially after like his movies like Trick or Treat and Krampus and a lot of the cool effects that he did in Godzilla King of the Monsters. I think that Doherty's on a great path, and I think Gremlins could be a cool, a cool shout-out movie for him, and so a movie where he can show his skills, but at the same time kind of give thanks to, those type of directors that did those cool, simple effect 80s movies, you know, and stuff like that. Okay. And I think Gremlins you could totally fit into a modern day. I could absolutely see Gizmo fucking around with a tablet. Like that would be something, you know.
It'd be adorable.
Or like picking up a Nintendo Switch, you know, with Stripe, you know, and something like that.
I agree with you 100% on that. That's one of those movies I feel can come out now and work now in now's times, and then you could say the other Gremlins and shit, fucking shit up, fucking with, kind of similar to how in the new Chucky, how he was fucking with the new technology.
Yes.
Similar to that, but them not being connected to it, them just messing with shit.
Yeah.
Just to do it.
I think I don't know, it'd be just a continuation. Like, just keep the original two. You don't have to do any more explaining. You wouldn't have to do a lot of character development. You could just continue it and have it evolve. It'd be awesome.
Did you watch the new Child's Play?
I loved it.
I liked it too, and I thought I was gonna fucking hate it.
I went in there with a clear mindset, and then I just really enjoyed it. I thought they did it really well. I seen a lot of hate for it, but they were like, "Oh, it's just because of the name." Like if that Child's Play movie had a different name, I think more people might have liked it. The ones that hated it.
Like if it was just called Buddy,
or just nothing to touch the franchise at all, name or anything. Even if the doll wasn't called Chucky, if it just had a different name, but a Buddy.
I think it should have been called like Buddy or Good Guys.
Yeah. But
or like Friends.
Either way, it didn't bother me though. I thought it was good. I really enjoyed it actually. It's actually, honestly, I'd have to go back and rewatch the Child's Play movies, but I like it better than the last few they made. I will definitely say that.
Okay.
Really?
Yeah, and I did enjoy Curse of Chucky. I enjoyed the Cult of Chucky, but I liked it better than those two. I don't remember the Bride of Chucky, but I probably liked it better than that. I don't remember the other one. What was the other one? Was it The Bride?
Seed
of Chucky. I wasn't a big fan of those ones. Those two were like my least favorite out of the whole franchise. I gotta see the third one again. I recently watched the first two.
What did you think of the first two?
Loved them.
Okay.
Loved them.
I love them too. I love them all.
Yeah, as a whole I do, but like I said, you know, in my list it would probably go, as of right now, probably part 1, then part 2, part 3 I don't remember, so I have to rewatch that. So I'll just say the new one / part 3 because I don't remember, and then which one was Cult was the last one where he had the big.
Yeah.
Cult, then Curse, and then the other two you can put them in any order because it doesn't matter. I have no clue with Seed and Bride.
Oh man, I love Bride of Chucky. I think it's so cool.
I didn't see it in years though. I know Seed I definitely didn't like.
I like Seed for what it is. Seed added a lot to what Curse and Cult are.
Mm-hmm.
And kind of really sped up that.
Yeah. So I appreciate that. I don't particularly like Glenn or Glinda. But I think it was funny. It was definitely like, like Freddy's Dead. Like that was funny more than scary.
Yeah.
But now we're playing with power. Or Scream 3. Scream 3.
Scream. But what did you guys think of the new Chucky movie? Did you guys both like it?
I liked it.
I really enjoyed it. I think that, you know, it's like kind of like you said, just go in it, you know, open-minded, you know. I think it did a good job of appreciating the originals, but embracing the new. I feel like this talking voodoo doll, you know, wouldn't do it did wonders for us, but I don't know what it would do to this, you know, generation. This generation is so involved in technology and electronics, and I think it's just, you know, I think they tried to create something that would, you know, involve that generation more. Or have that generation appreciate it. So I do like that, like, horror is trying to reach out to everybody. I think they did that in particular with this Halloween 18. You know, I think that was a big reach out to, like, a whole different generation to get into the Halloween movies.
Agreed.
And I think that's kind of what this was for Child's Play. I think it was somewhat of a continuation, but it's just like, okay, we really like this idea, but now we're gonna head into this direction with it. And I would totally watch more with this Buddy doll.
Me too.
You know, I love the ending. I thought there was a lot of really interesting and
very cool
brutal kills. I like that I like that the doll kind of adapted to things and started to pick up on like slang and use humor through that.
This is Tupac. That's very
yeah,
important.
yeah. And I thought, like, honestly, I thought the acting was great. I thought his neighbor was really. I liked that character. The kid did a great job, and Aubrey Plaza did a really good job at that. So in that sense, like, there's really nothing. I don't really have anything bad to say.
And they kind of dove more into Andy's mom's, backstory a little bit. Not backstory, but necessarily like her character development. Developed like, oh, okay, she's trying to get out. Mm-hmm. She is trying to sit up on some dick. Yeah. Andy keeps fucking it up.
Get on that dick.
But it kind of like showed like, okay, well, yeah, they're not. It kind of, for me, explained a little more like, okay, the dad's definitely not around. Mm-hmm. I don't know if he's died or if he's gone or what, but like he's not even in it. So I thought that was cool and a little definitive.
Yeah.
For that character.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Great. They did a really good job though with that movie. As you guys said, the acting was really good. The kids. I'm liking how a lot of these horror shows and movies are involving kids a lot more though.
Absolutely.
I think that's cool.
Look at Stranger Things, man.
That amazing show.
Absolutely.
Did you guys cry?
What?
Did you guys cry?
I had a tear in the corner of my eye, but it didn't go down my face.
That's good.
I didn't cry. I was okay. I thought I was going to, but everything turned out okay.
What did you guys think of the end of that, as far as the after the credit scenes, I'll say? Season 3.
I think that Hopper's in a cell in Russia somewhere.
Me too.
I think they were able to grab him. It's either they were able to grab Hopper and keep him in a cell in Russia, or like he's in the Upside Down somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
He was somehow pulled through the portal.
Because that one part, as we all seen, where he's like, says it in their language. That's the American or whatever. I'm just like, okay, so everybody's thinking it's Hopper.
Yeah.
My only thing is, what if it's I'm sure it is him. He's going to be in the next season, but just imagine if it wasn't him. Who would it be? I was just like, who the fuck would it be? Like, nobody else.
I thought about like his friend, the nerdy guy that had like the bald guy with the beard.
Yeah.
Like I was just like, unless they somehow captured him or had to trade his life to, keep some secrets. I don't know. I thought about that. I was like, he's the only other person I can think of that they might have. Unless there's Eleven's dad.
Oh, that'd be cool.
If they have him somehow or something like that.
I thought, what if it was Joyce? Like somehow they get Winona Ryder.
Oh, okay.
What if like that's later on?
Yeah, that's another thing. Like the timeline could be way off. Like, what if that was like some sort of a preview for like, hey, they ended up going and capturing Joyce and Will and all them.
She was one of the ones down there too.
So like, yeah, that's a good point.
Ooh, shit. Season 4 is gonna be great. I can't wait for that shit to come out.
I think they're only doing the one more season
which is good. I'm glad that they're not dragging it on. Like, don't do 10 seasons. Don't do The Walking Dead, man. Just
these fucking kids are blowing up.
That's
has been in everything. Yeah. Bobby Brown, the kid who played Eddie, and it is very similar to that. Like, he was in the Shazam movie, and he's blown up. Like Sturdy was saying, all these young kids are starting to blow up.
And it's really good because
Finn was in it.
Yeah,
getting them into horror. That's a dope thing right there. You're getting them into horror, and then with Stranger Things, you're getting kids to watch horror because it's not too over the top.
Yeah, exactly. Like my son watches it and loves it,
which I think is just awesome. And it brings you back to that feel. I mean, I know we were all babies or little kids then in the '80s, but it brings you back to that feel of just that nostalgia, and I just love it. Or just the from the movies that we watched.
I mean, I couldn't tell you how many times though. Like, I know talking to my friends, like, oh, dude, you remember that Goosebumps show? Do you remember that Tales from the Crypt show?
Yes.
Remember that Tales from the Crypt episode? You know, we still talk about that. This generation is going to be like, do you remember that Stranger Things episode where they did this and this when we were kids? And like, wasn't that cool? It's just like, how cool is that like they get to grow up with Stranger Things? Like, man, we didn't have that shit.
Just a couple of clicks,
Yeah.
and you're on the flicks.
There you go. Netflix. But yeah, that show was so well done. A lot of people bash season 2. I got to go back and rewatch that. I'll probably rewatch the whole series with my wife again. But I didn't have an issue with any. There's no season that stands out as bad in my opinion. I thought they were all great, but
I agree. They all are a little different, you know, in that they all have kind of different feels. You know, the first one, those kids are so innocent. The second one, all of a sudden, these kids develop like feelings, like they start falling for girls. And the third one's them literally kind of growing up.
Yep.
You know, developing relationships outside the group, and you know, doing all. It's cool.
It is.
It's a different season, like literally, like season outside Mother Nature.
Yep. Which is cool.
Each like part, I guess, if you will.
Yeah.
Instead of it being, say, around Halloween every single time, it's like, no, this shit's still going on.
Right, dude. It's very cool to me.
So with Basket Case, how many baskets would you give this movie? How many wicker baskets out of 10 would you give this movie?
I'd give it 6.5 wicker baskets because it is very good. And a lot of people, I think, would give it way lower than that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's just like The Commoner. And, like I said, when it comes to B movies, it's up there.
Yeah.
I give it a 7 wicker baskets out of 10. I think that, like, what I appreciate about the movie is, like, how much heart it had. You know, like, the actors, the director, you know, like, they all had the same idea. Like, this is our movie. We're going to make it fun. It's going to be a horror story, but it's going to be a horror story for everyone.
Mm-hmm.
And I love that shit. And I love when people, like, don't give a fuck about, like, what other people think, and they just go out there and create their own art. And I don't know. I think that I appreciate that more. I'm a huge effects guy. I thought the effects in this movie were amazing. So I give it a 7 out of 10.
Nice. I'm gonna give it a solid 6. Fun ass fucking movie. Had titties in it.
Oh yeah.
And
real life ones too.
Yeah. I just didn't. I think my biggest issue, honestly, was the screaming in it. I thought it was a little bit too much and too over dramatic with the screaming. Not just with the thing, but just with everybody that screamed in the freaking movie. But other than that, I had a real good time with it. And it's something I would really love to see remade. I just think I think if it's in the right hands, the right director's hands, the right team's hands, they can remake it and make it look good. And don't do too much bullshit with it. No, none of that CGI shit. If you do use it, don't do it too much.
Yeah.
I prefer not at all. Just practical effects. And yeah, I think it would be good. And I also think they should come out with a figure or something. A little bust.
Arrow, for a while, or at the Nightmare Shop, we had these Arrow enamel pins of Belial, like, popping out of the basket.
That's awesome.
Yeah. We haven't gotten our hands on some in a little bit.
Dude, they were flying off the shelves.
Yeah.
And just like those figures would be.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
That's real cool. You can even add on the figure if it has like a little thing in the back where you can push it up and down, so you can go up and down, open, close, or you can have it just stay open.
Yeah, that'd be amazing.
But I'm gonna try to get some sleep, guys. So you guys want to do some end of show plugs?
Heck yeah.
Yeah, totally, dude. So yeah, as I said, we're the Nightmare Shop. You can find us on Facebook and Instagram at the.nightmare.shop, at Twitter at _nightmare_shop. You can find all our stock at the Nightmare Shop LLC, masks, records, movies, wallets, accessories, all sorts of awesome horror shit for your ultimate collection. You can also check us out on SoundCloud if you like listening to us talk about horror stuff, where we talk about every so often. And you can also find our events and where we're going to be at coming up soon. We got an event called Toy Man Show in Richmond, Missouri with R.A. Mahaloff and Wyatt Weed and a local paranormal activity group. Like they go out there, they do research in St. Charles and do ghost tours and stuff. So that should be fun. Check that out. And then Late Night Grindhouse we got next week with Destroy the Brain. You can find them at destroythebrain.com.
And they're showing Toby Hooper's Funhouse, man.
Yeah, it'll be fun. And October 11th and 12th, and we'll be there too. And then we'll also be at the Heavy Anchor for Destroy the Brain's Horror Trivia Night, 9th year anniversary, where we are donating surprise prizes. Surprise in the fact that no one knows what the fuck they are yet, besides us. And if you show up, it's $10 per team, teams of 5, and it's going to be fucking awesome. Just October 18th.
That's awesome.
You can find all the details on our website.
That's great. I'm glad you guys are doing so much with this horror stuff and with your guys' horror store and all that. That's awesome. Happy for you guys. Keep killing it.
Thank you.
Thanks, man.
And everybody that's listening to this episode, definitely go follow them. Check out all their stuff. Great guys. They love horror like we all do, so definitely go and support them. Thanks for listening to the show. You know where to find me. Facebook. I have a group and a page called Horror with Sir Sturdy. I have a YouTube channel, Horror with Sir Sturdy, where I'm starting to do more videos now. Let me think. What else? Horror _ Sir _ Sturdy is my Twitch. Sir _ Sturdy is my Sir _ Sturdy is my PSN. And if you ever want to be on an episode, shoot me an email, horrorwithsir.sturdy. Again, that's horrorwithsir.sturdy@gmail.com. Shoot me an email if you want to come on the episode, talk some horror, and we'll go from there. As always, I'll see you